Because when you get down to the 1 month, it's a tiny little goal that you might have to implement to help you achieve step-by-step action to get to 25 years.
We believe every Australian deserves a right to own at the very least 5 investment properties. I'm Adrian Trimboli.
And I'm Frank Ambezi, and welcome to the Invest in You podcast.
If you quit once, it becomes a habit. Never Quit by Michael Jordan. So today's topic that we're going to be discussing in episode 2 is the vision, the goals. And this quote relates to this because a lot of people set New Year's resolution goals and they never achieve those goals or never follow through. I think that the percent rate is literally nearly 96% or more from last time what I read. And why? Because they quit. And I think it's because the goals do not align with their core values. Now we'll talk more about that, I think, in the next episode, because this is going to be potentially a double episode on goal setting. Okay, goal setting, it's a big thing. Adrian and I, we set goals from all the way from 25 years, and we work all the way back to where we are right now. You might be thinking to yourself, that's crazy, it's ludicrous, but it works, and you have to do that because you've got to reverse engineer it. So why do people don't achieve their goals? What do you reckon, Age? Why do you think they don't achieve their goals?
Well, it's like a chat I had with a mentor of mine. Why people fail at business is because people give up really easy and too quickly a lot of the time. It gets hard. They have a plan for the roadblocks. Let's talk about our business, right? A lot of people now might look at our business and go, looks like they're doing well. They're all over social media. They've got this podcast. They're buying a lot of property. Awesome. Let's not beat around the bush. Yeah, for the first 12 to 18 months, we ate shit. We failed, but we never, ever quit. And I think that in itself, right, how to become an entrepreneur, how to become a great husband, or how to become, someone who's extremely fit, the simple trait of someone who does not give up regardless of what's going on around him, who does not give up regardless of how many people are saying you can't do this, that simple trait there, right, doesn't have to be highly skilled. That simple trait there is more of a trait than, I think, someone with an awesome IQ or awesome school or a great university degree, or even someone with grit. Someone who will never quit is a very, very dangerous person in the sense that they will literally keep pushing until they get what they want. So I think that's the biggest thing. Never, ever quit. The moment you fail is the moment you quit. So let's get into it. As always, we are going to break down a bunch of steps, right? And essentially, as the title says, you're 9 steps away from achieving it all. Okay, so you're going to walk away from today's session with processes, with actions, with things that you need to do right now, and you can implement on your own in order to set a goal, achieve a goal, which, as you said, as you alluded to before, is not an easy task. Setting the goal is the easy task. Planning everything in between is not the easy task. So, Frank, kick it off.
For sure. So when we go for step number 1, I guess, when it comes to goal setting, it comes down to dreaming. Of course, we all dream. So when we dream, we put that dream into a goal. And then that goal, we have to learn about it. We have to learn about the goal. And then we've got to have to plan to, I guess, what to do to achieve that goal. And then it comes into an action step. So there's dream, goal, learn, plan, and attack or action. Now, there's 7 areas that we like to focus on. You can break it down into 3 of the main key areas, but you can do 7. So I do 7, and I've gone all the way up to 25 years, and I reverse engineer it back. So let's start off with the 7. There's career, wealth, so your finances. So your career, of course, what you want to achieve. Your finances, I guess your finance, so you're investing and bringing in that income. Your health, your relationship, your intellectual goals, your contribute goals, and I guess your intimacy goals as well. So these areas are some of the key fundamental areas of our life, and we can be one-sided in one or two of these areas, but if we're not fulfilled in all the other areas, there's going to be some imbalance in our life, and there can be some problems. You probably hear all the time, you get these big successful entrepreneurs or business owners that got a beautiful business bringing in a lot of income, but guess what? They get divorced, or something happens in the relationship, ain't thriving, or maybe they're overweight because they're not looking after themselves. And this all works with each other. So this is something that have balance, structure, balance, have something, purpose, meaning, and helping other people along the way. So goals is not just all about yourself as well. It's about helping other people. Because like I said, we've got family goals or relationship goals, we've got contribute goals. So stuff that you want to do for society. Okay.
Absolutely.
So when four things you kind of want to ask yourself when you're setting a goal is, what do I want? Okay. What do I want? What do you want to achieve? And that's kind of asking yourself. So actually, let me start back from there. So we're going to start from a 25-year time frame. So we're going to start from a 25-year time frame and work our way back. So we're going from 25-year, 10-year, 5-year, 1 year, 3 months. 6 months, 3 months, 1 month. Now you might think this is a lot of work, which
and it is.
What's that? Sorry, Age?
And it is a lot of work if this is not your standard.
Exactly. This is something that you have a plan in place, and you might be thinking to yourself, I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow, and you want me to go all the way to 25 years. And it sounds crazy, but you have to reverse engineer it, because you can't start from today and say, I want to be in, somewhere in the future, when you don't even know where you want to be. You have to work your way back. So it makes sense. So if there's a goal of maybe you want to own a certain amount of investment properties in 25 years, what does that look like? That's generating a certain income, yada, 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 whatever it may be, which we'll talk about the specific side of things. But once you're working all your way back, you're going to break that goal down. So how we want to do it is like, what do I want? What do you truly want in life? A lot of people will put goals down on a piece of paper, or maybe on the, in a format, or on a, Google sheet, whatever it may be. And these goals do not align with their purpose. So it comes down to your core purpose, your values, what you personally want in life. If you're someone that doesn't desire to have a yacht, but you're putting down, I want a yacht, just because you just want a materialistic thing that doesn't align with you, that goal's not going to be compelling. It's not going to be something that's going to drive you. So it has to be something that you truly value. Now, when you go, I want, okay, you start writing your list of goals out. From 25 years, what do you want to be? Where do you want to be? What will I do? So you start writing these things out of what you want in life. Now, what I like to do with my goals, so we've got a document that will be attached, or we'll have a PDF where you can get a free copy of, which is a goal template, and it can help you, assist you, and so you can fill in your goals. So next to those goals that you achieve in yours, let's say, for instance, we're starting with career. What do you want? Now, what I like to do is attach a why to that. Why do you want this? Now, I would write next to that goal why you want this. So if it's something like, for instance, you want to donate a certain amount of money. Why do you want to do that? Maybe you want to, why? Because I want to impact as many people's lives as I can. I want to help serve and give back to the community, give back to the people that didn't have the life that maybe you had, and you want to help fulfill their life. Something along those words, something that really aligns with you. Okay. That is something that is going to push you. Your why will always push you to your success. Because if it's something that's embedded in your heart, it's going to drive you. So start at 25 years and work it all the way back. So when you get 25 years and you go to 10, you're going to break it down and you're going to see where you're at. So don't get too caught up in the 25 years and you're trying to be too, it's making you overwhelmed. This is not, it's supposed to make you overwhelmed, but it's supposed to as well to break it down, because when you get down to the 1 month, it's a tiny little goal that you might have to implement to help you achieve step-by-step action to get to 25 years.
For sure.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And something I want to add on top of that. So yes, absolutely. Everyone wants something. Why? It's the number one thing I ask someone. So let's always lead back to property. I want a $5 million property portfolio. Awesome. That's brilliant. Why do you want it? An awesome thing, something I learned off Dean Graziosi, right, is the 7 whys. So he obviously he learned it from someone else as well. I can't remember the name, but regardless, the 7 whys. So you'll ask me, why do I want to build up a property portfolio of $5 million? And I'll come back to you and I'll say, oh, because I want to live and have freedom. Okay. Great answer. It's something that you hear a lot of people say, right? You ask yourself, so it's a thing you're doing by yourself. You sit there with a piece of paper and you ask, I want to have freedom. Then you ask yourself again 6 more times, why? After freedom, you might say, because I never had freedom in my childhood. You end up actually getting to the real why. You know, I've done this with myself, with a lot of areas. And the final why, it ends up actually meaning something. You know, so something like, I want to be a father that my father was never. You know, something like that. That's just an example of why you want freedom. Or I want to be around for my kids like my parents weren't around for me. Something that actually drives you. And then every time you think about, am I going to spend this bit of money or am I going to put it in my savings to buy a house? Example, you remind yourself of, oh, okay, this is the actual why. Something that actually has a lot more driving force than I want freedom. Okay. Asking yourself, breaking it down, asking yourself 7 times, why? So we kind of capped off the first 4 there, right? You want to obviously, dream, goal, learn, plan, action. That's kind of the steps. And then you want to kind of develop it in your 7 areas: your career, your wealth, your health, relationships, intellect, contribution, and intimacy. Those questions: what do I want? Why do I want it? And then setting it back from 25 years and reverse engineering it.
Sure.
If we move into the next stage, so number 6 or number 5 rather, where do we go from there? Once we've kind of reverse engineered it, where do we go from there?
Yeah. So first, I just want to touch on it. So those 7 areas, if that's something that's super overwhelming, you do 3. Do health, wealth, relationship.
Yep.
As well. So just do them 3. You don't have to go 7. You don't have to go 8, whatever it may be, or 9, whatever. If you want to add more categories, go 3. So that's 1. Now, so where we want to go from there when we're doing that 25-year and we're working our way back for reverse engineering it, because you want to break that down. You need to be really, really specific. It's no good going to 25 years and saying, you want to have a $5 million property portfolio. When there's really, $5 million property portfolio, what's that portfolio doing? Is it negative geared or is it positive geared? It's going to bring a certain amount of income per year, or is it not? Is it going to ride you off a certain amount of cash tax deductions? What is it? So if it's a $5 million property portfolio, you might not know what properties that consists of, or how many properties that may consist of, but maybe you have a passive income goal. So it might be, I want a $5 million property portfolio that's going to produce $100,000 of passive income in 25 years from now. And then you attach a why to that. Like Adrian said, you attach a why you want this, why you want that goal. And it has to be something emotional, because that's going to drive you. The emotion attachment to the goal. And that's why a lot of people don't succeed. Why? There's no emotional attachment. It's all good saying, I want to lose weight. What the hell does that mean? How many kilos? What's your body percent fat that you want to be? What's the ratio? What sort of fitness do you want to have? Like, do you want to be an athlete of an endurance athlete sort of sport, and you want to be able to run a certain amount of kilometers at a certain pace in a certain time? What is that? You've got to be really, really specific. So this is something that a lot of people don't do. If you just say something like, oh, I want to lose weight, not compelling. Oh, I want to be rich, I want to have a property portfolio. Okay, it's not compelling. You have to be really, really, really specific and think about that goal, why you truly want that goal, and something that is so specific and that aligns with your values. So I can't touch on more on this, on how much it has to be aligned with your values.
Yeah, for sure. It brings you into the next one, which is something I'm looking at right now, actually, the vision board, which is kind of a fun thing if you're an artistic type person. You have a bit of fun with this. You set the vision and you actually put visual pictures of what it is that you're building. Now, you can do this for just 1 year. You can do this for your 25 years. This is just a visual cue just to remind you. So, I look at here and I've got a specific body that I want to have. I've got meditation. I've got a certain amount of money that I want to earn in the business. I've got, you know, playing specific sports, investing in specific assets, doing a try. You know, I've got all different things that I know, and I'm visually reminding myself every day, because I look at it every day. I'm in this office every day, right? And I see it every day, and I just look at it, and it's just a reminder. It's a vision board there. Yeah, very, very important. It's very fun. That's a really fun and actually easy way to just remind yourself, okay, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm pushing this. So very
And
important.
all that consists of, people, is what Adrian said, is putting a vision, put a piece of paper with some, you can get some photos off the internet and, printing it out and putting it on your wall. Look at that,
That's right.
visualize that. Now, if you can't see the vision, you can't see that vision happening. This is something where at the beginning can be quite daunting, because you can't really see. If it's something that you've got and it's quite outrageous, you might be thinking to yourself, geez, how am I going to, this is something that I can't really see it happening. But you have to believe, I guess, you have to be realistic, but you want to think big. So this might sound a bit crazy. You will be like, what are you talking about? Too big, not big enough? You have to think big. You have to think big where that goal is going to scare you. Because if you set something that you can achieve, you set a goal here, you can achieve that goal. You're here at the bottom and you can achieve that goal. So if you set a goal, that's too small. But if you set a goal, it's up even higher. And that that goal is going to, it's scary, but it's not out of reach, but it's going to push you to certain limits. If you don't achieve that goal, let's say your limits here of saying this is where my capabilities, I can achieve this goal. If you set a goal up here, now if you fail and you land here, that means you've fallen higher than what you've fallen, but you've landed higher than what your expectations are. So you may fail, and that's okay. But if you set a big enough goal, that means you're striving to go, beyond your limits, beyond your capabilities, beyond of what you think you can achieve. And when you do and you fall short, if you do fall short, but if you achieve it, wonderful. If you fall short, you're outreached or your expectations, which is super, super, I guess it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, because you didn't know what you're capable of, and then you find out what your limit is, and then you can go even further again and again and again. Humans have got unlimited potential.
For sure. For sure.
So
Fail fast, fail often. Will Smith said that. Fail fast, fail often. But on top of that, you're exactly right. I'd rather shoot for the stars and end up on the top of Eureka Tower, as high as that, as opposed to shooting for Eureka Tower and ending up on top of the Etihad Stadium. It's just a comparison. You'd rather shoot for the stars and fall short, which is still going to be higher than what you had shot for if you just chose to just play it safe and shoot for something, within your limit that you're gonna achieve, which you can just tick off. Yep, I did it. Awesome. Bugger that. Go for failure. Ask yourself every day, what can I fail at? All right, bring me into the next one. So bring me into number 9.
So you're gonna feel uncomfortable to do this, yeah. So it's gonna push you out of your comfort zone. But I kind of want to touch as well, when we're doing that and we'll set our goals, we're going to get to a 1 month goal, and this should be a goal that's small, easy to achieve to some extent, of course, but it's going to push you to these limits. Now, what we like to do as well, we'd like to go to 1 week. So we do it with our business a lot, and we do it for our monthly goals, and we'll break it down. We'll break it down. We'll go to 1 week. But if you want to go, stay to a month and look at that goal every month. So what I like to do is I get those 3 key areas of my life, and I'll put other things in there as well. So there'll be a whole bunch of other goals that I will print off, and I'll put it in a file, in a piece of paper, and I'll put it in my journal. So every morning I write in my journal. I'll read those goals out, what I want to achieve for the month. Now there might be 5, there might be 6, there might be 10. And you've broken them down to bite-sized pieces. Now, in those monthly goals, you can break them down into weekly bite-sized pieces to break it down so you can achieve that goal. So visualizing that goal every single day, seeing the goal, because it's all good writing them down on a piece of paper or in a book or on your computer. But if you're not seeing them and not trying to take action, you're not going to achieve that goal. So breaking those down, like I said, if you're doing those 3 key areas, beautiful. If you're doing more of those 3 key areas, maybe pick 1 to 2 area of goals in that monthly goals that you want to achieve for the month, You may have more. Maybe you might have to scale your goals and just what really aligns with you, one step at a time. You can't conquer the world in one day. It takes time. So breaking that down and visualizing those goals every single day, reading them, looking at them, saying them out loud, putting it in your subconscious mind, programming your mind to achieve that goal. That goal can be whatever it may be. It might be you want to donate a certain amount of money this month. It might be you want to take your spouse maybe on a little holiday or a little getaway, or maybe it's you want to go in. So maybe you want to invest in a certain asset, and you want to maybe get some advice, and so you're breaking it down. You want to speak to a few professionals in the property game, for example, a buyer's agent, or maybe you want to start investing in some cryptocurrencies, and you want to invest in a course. So you buy a course so you can actually educate yourself and invest. You know what I mean? Break it down into one. You can break those 1 month goals down, and you have to, if it's going to take you some in between those weeks to do some small little action steps. You've broken that down, and that's going to implement and build this thing that you're trying to achieve in 25 years from now.
We've spoken about a lot here. We've had some really, really quick and easy, impactful things that you can go and implement. I do want to do a second part of this, because there is a hell of a lot more to it. So we will do a second part on this, but I want to break down because there is a lot, and I want to summarize. So first, this is how kind of a goal really starts. It starts with the dream, then it turns into a goal, then it turns into learning about how to attain that goal. Then you plan the goal or plan how you're going to do it, and then you actually put it into action, right? Like you said, 7 areas it can go down into, or you can bring it down into 3, right? Health, wealth, relationships. And then you want to ask yourselves those powerful questions. What do I want? What am I willing to do? Why do I want it? And how am I going to achieve this? And then also going further, if you like, asking yourself the 7 whys. Why, and getting down to that real concrete goal for each single goal that you set. From there, going 25 years, 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, 1 week, breaking it all down, right? Reverse engineering it and making sure that you've set the vision, set the goal, and bringing it down to a weekly task that you can look at and do it. Making sure, obviously, everyone's heard the SMART goal, being very, very specific, but it's very important as well. You need to be very specific. I want to lose 3 kilos in 2 months, or whatever it is. I want to buy a property by June 2023, whatever it is. Making sure that you have that vision board. So this is kind of the fun part of the Intel, I think, getting very creative and creating that, the picture that you look at every single day of, what it is you want, whether it's a body, whether it's a certain amount in your bank account, whether it's playing a sport, whatever it is, you need to put that in. Learning from the people that have achieved it, or going out and going out to those people, making sure you push the boundaries as well, making sure you push it, making you feel, and then finally reviewing it and making sure that you put things in place where you're reviewing it every single week, every single month. I think that's a very, very action-packed 9 steps to really go in and achieving those goals that you've set out, which maybe you haven't in the past. And again, this is not fluff. This is not something we've learned and just thrown out. This is something we've learned, implemented. And it's half the reason, I believe, Frank, that the business is in the position we're in, but also other areas of our life as well, our health, our relationships, because we set those visions and we literally follow. We are the test dummies, like we teach everything. We are the test dummies for everything that we do teach.
Sure. And I think what we're going to touch on with the next episode about this, part 2, is how to be accountable, how to actually achieve the goal and keep you driven. Now, I've talked about the why, we're talking about how we're going to do it, or the will, and how we're going to achieve it, like Adrian just touched on. But there's a thing called, pain and pleasure. And as human beings, I think pain, 80% of the time, is what we're driven by. So what we're going to do, which is a little sneak peek, is attach pain to the goal, not pleasure. Pain
don't talk about it too much, because I want them to listen to it. It's action packed for the next one. Let's just say that. Let's just say that.
This is something that's going to change your mindset.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned. If you want more information, go to Invest in You page on our Facebook page, or you can go to our Fresh Start Advisory Buyer's Agent page, where we've got about property markets, about a bit of what we do, but more importantly, educate you so you can be the best investor you can possibly be. So,
thank you so much. Bye-bye.
If you like today's podcast, then you're absolutely going to love the Invest in You Facebook group, where we share a bunch of valuable tips and tricks on property investing for our exclusive community. Come join us and let's level up.